Welcome into We Talk Ball Week 12 preview. Hope everybody's had a wonderful work week. We are almost there. We're almost to the finish line. We got so much to talk about tonight. I am your host, Chris. You can find me on Twitter at CFP Talk 07. You can also follow our show account at CFP_SZN on Twitter and YouTube. Hit the like and the subscribe button. We thank y'all a lot for always tuning in and doing that for us. I am joined, as always, tonight by my co-host, Austin. What's up, brother?
What it do?
It's a great weekend. Or it's a great week. Good week.
It is a good week. I'm excited for this weekend.
Me too. Before we get started, I'll put the camera down. So we're starting a new thing on the show that I'm doing. I kind of got inspired by my co-host over on Sweet Tea in the SEC that we do. Gonna try to do it every week. May not, but it'll be a consistent thing. So if you go to my Twitter at CFP Talk 07, I will do a poll, and we're gonna do kind of highlight some small schools, and I'll go and buy their shirts, and I'll wear them. And last week, Delaware Blue Hens won the poll, so got the Delaware Blue Hens. This week's poll, actually, we had a football account that came and ended the second poll. I will be wearing another shirt. We'll keep that a surprise next week, hopefully. But for the third shirt, we currently have a poll going on that's going to highlight the Texas teams, smaller schools, and one Big 12 school. So we got a poll going on with Texas State, Texas Tech, UTSA, and UTEP. So if you go to my Twitter at CFP Talk 07, go vote on the poll. And let's see what the next shirt's going to be. All right, Austin, you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Got some questions in the TikTok asking about our thoughts on some games, and every single game that's been asked, we were going to talk about tonight. So y'all just stay tuned. All right, let's go to Empty the Notebook. I got a rant about something. Austin, did you see what our boy Pat? I can't even say his. I don't even know if he has earned the right for me to say his last name. Is it Narduzzi?
Yeah.
Narloser. Let's get Joe. If you can put that on the screen, let's go ahead and I'll hit the play button here.
Do you feel like this is a must-win for this team when it comes to something?
Absolutely not. It is not an ACC game. I'm glad you brought that up. It's not an ACC game. I gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10 in that game. They can put 100 up on us as long as we win the next two after that. But again, our focus is on Notre Dame and getting as many wins as we can.
What? Well, hold on. Got to hit pause. What kind of loser crap was that?
I can't even talk about it.
What are we doing? Hey, I don't even. So I'm flabbergasted still. I had the rant in my head, but I am still like so flabbergasted that this man said absolutely not to that question. And I'm just thinking, like, look, I didn't play at the highest level of college, right? I mean, I think the highest level I played was like 1 week of high school football and maybe some YMCA pickup games in basketball. That's like the highest level of my sports competition. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I was a player in that locker room and I heard my coach say absolutely not and said it doesn't matter if we get beat down 100-0, like I would be like, then what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. Why are you even playing the game?
Yeah. Why are we even playing the game? Like, what's the point?
Sit your starters. Play your third string.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just blown away about it. I don't know, man. I'm pretty competitive. I mean, my 6-year-old wants to play Uno, and I want to make her cry.
Yeah.
Like I want to beat her. And my wife all the time when I play the kids in any kind of sports or any kind of board game and all that, let them win. Hell no. This little 6-year-old's she's about to go down. So she's going down, and she's going to cry to mommy when I'm done with her as far as this Uno game we're about to play. She's about to catch these hands. But yeah, man, I don't know, dude.
I've been around a lot of successful people in my time, and not necessarily college, coaches, but just business people in general. And I don't know that I have ever heard a successful person have that type of mentality.
Yeah.
And I just surely is there a way he meant something else by it? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
When I first saw it, I thought it was one of the AI videos. I thought I was on one of the fake Twitter pages or X pages, whatever. And I saw it posted by several different sites, and I was like, well, I guess that really got said.
Yeah, we got a comment in TikTok. I honestly think it sounded worse than what he meant. I feel like he was implying that the game didn't mean anything for their playoffs and still can win by winning out the ACC. I mean, yeah, so I do want to highlight that. Like, he's technically, I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not.
Like, what he said is not wrong at all. He is absolutely 100% correct.
Yes.
I just don't know that I would have said that out loud.
Right. I just don't. I don't. I'm with you. This game means absolutely nothing to him and everything to Notre Dame. But yeah, I just don't see how a head coach can, in any shape, form, or fashion, feels like it's okay to say that.
Especially him. Like, he's one of the last ones I'd ever expect to say that.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of feeds into that stupid fan thing that, annoys me to no end about how, in the expanded playoffs, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. And I just, highly competitive people want to win no matter what.
Well, I mean, my fear is that's the first time I've ever heard a coach say the things that we're afraid is going to turn into college football.
Yeah.
Like the things that we've said, like there's going to be so many games that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. And I think it's just the first time we heard it said out loud from a coach. And I think that's why we're in such shock by it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Coaches, man, they just sometimes say dumb stuff. I was just really shocked that it was said by him at all people. He's pretty known for, I don't know, not being that guy. But that's a perfect segue into our first game we're going to preview in the Big Five preview. Before we announce the game real quick, we already know it's going to be Notre Dame versus Pitt. Austin is 34-21 on the year now in our pick'ems on the show. I am now 34-21.
We ran him down.
We've got a tie, and just like Kayla, Austin has effed around and found out. Notre Dame favored by 12.5.
You got to clip that and send it to her.
We are. I am. We got Notre Dame versus Pitt. Both are 7-2. Notre Dame's ranked number 9. Pitt's ranked number 22. Notre Dame's favored by 12.5. I think it opened at 11.5. Austin, I couldn't help but think that this line is similar to Utah, Cincy, and Texas Tech and BYU.
Yeah. I think it's a combination of calling Pitt a fraud and Notre Dame being a better football team than what we're giving them credit for.
You mean?
Or I won't say we. You've been back. I jumped off the Notre Dame bandwagon. I'm not gonna lie, but I think Vegas is saying, "Hold up, just a minute." So
I would tell you what, man. I when I seen the line, my antennas went up just like it did with Texas Tech and BYU, just like it did with Utah and Cincy. And when I went and digged up in this matchup, to be transparent, because we are on this show, I have not watched a lick of Pitt football. I've seen bits and pieces. They have not really given us a reason to talk about them much on this show, despite being 7-2. But I've seen stuff about the freshman quarterback who's been phenomenal for the year. So when I digged into this matchup, I think I can see why they're Notre Dame's favored by 12.5. I don't think this game's going to go good for Pitt. And the main reason why is the line of scrimmages, the big guys. Pitt's offensive line's pressure rate allowed is 126. The Notre Dame is ninth in pressure rate. I don't like that for Pitt going against this Notre Dame defensive line. Notre Dame at the beginning of the season kind of had some secondary issues. It seems like they've gotten it fixed. I don't think we'll know that for 100% sure until they face a better, passing attack, which maybe will be Pitt. But I don't know. I don't know how Pitt's gonna do much in the pass game if their offensive line is going to give up a lot of sacks to a Notre Dame defensive line that is really good at getting to the quarterback.
Yeah. Not to mention, we don't talk about the playoffs here till it gets time for it, but
it's close. It's getting there.
This is it for Notre Dame. They win this, they're in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because who they got after that? I mean, it's easy, right?
Syracuse and damn, I just went blank. I looked at it earlier. Syracuse and Stanford.
Oh yeah, that's it then.
So, yeah. So like this is it. So you're gonna get playoff ready Notre Dame coming into a Pitt team that I guess doesn't care if they lose 100-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. I'm still thinking about that, and maybe he said something like that. Maybe his freshman quarterback's a little too amped up for this game or a little too nervous about it. And he's just trying to calm his nerves to say, hey, this is just another game. It doesn't even matter. Maybe it was coach's talk for that.
Yeah. I thought about that too, because like I said, this is kind of uncharacteristic of Pat. He just does not seem like that. I could see Lane Kiffin saying that.
Yeah.
I could not see Pat saying that. That's why I was kind of like blown away by it. And I think your theory could be right. I think it could be something like maybe the team is, or the freshman quarterback's getting a little too amped up. Yeah, that definitely could be a thing.
That would make me feel better to know that's why he said it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and I don't like this spot for a freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Now Pitt is really good, at least numbers wise. Schedule hasn't been, the greatest, but number wise, they're pretty decent at stopping the run, which is, one of Notre Dame's strengths. But I don't know that they're that great in the back end. And I'm curious to see how CJ Carr does in this game. My love affair with CJ Carr. I think he's one of the more underrated quarterbacks in college football. And I think he's somebody that when we go into the 2026 season, we're going to be talking a lot about him as the guy for next year. And I think I have a prediction that this game will be the start of his hype train. This could be like a narrative game. I don't think Pitt's as good as this record. I think Notre Dame's going to blow them out. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Notre Dame's going to cover 12.5. I don't think it'll be close. But you know how people are. They see that 7-2 versus 7-2. They see that 22 versus number 9 ranked team. And it'll be a good narrative, what we call it, like a narrative game for Notre Dame. For people to hype them up. And look, I think Notre Dame's a good team. I'm not going to get into the debate on whether they should be in the playoffs at 10-2 or not, or should they be ranked ahead of Miami. I do think they're a really good team. I think they're playoff worthy, but and I think CJ Carr has a lot to do with that. And I think he's gonna have a really good day against this secondary.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think they cover too. In my mind, I tried to make this a game, but when you can run the ball and play defense like Notre Dame does, and I'm with you, it's time for Carr to show up a little bit, or show out a little bit, I guess I should say. Early game, those always get kind of tricky to me, those noon games. But I think Notre Dame knows what's sitting in front of them, and they take care of business.
All right. Well, we're both going Notre Dame. Before we move to the second game, we got a question in the chat. Since we're not talking Georgia Tech, I want to give this person an answer. We'll do just something quick right now. Sam in the TikTok chat, let me hear y'all's thoughts on Georgia Tech. Austin, what's your thoughts on Georgia Tech since your wife's a closet Georgia Tech fan?
She's not a closet Georgia Tech fan.
She's on the live. That's why I said that.
Yeah, her grandfather graduated from Georgia Tech. So, anyhow,
there she is.
there she comes.
There she comes.
But I still think Georgia Tech's a good football team.
Oh yeah.
I think they've got some struggles on defense, and but I think they can beat anybody on any given Saturday.
Maybe one in Atlanta coming up.
You better hope not, from that girl that's commenting on your TikTok right now.
God, I'm gonna block her. Well, I can't. We're in a group chat, so I can't block her.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to. No, I think Georgia Tech's good. I think what I really hate, just coming from a Georgia fan, I really hate how likable I like Haynes King and Brent Key so much. So I love those two dudes. I think Haynes King's a baller. I think Brent Key's perfect for Georgia Tech. I hope he doesn't leave Georgia Tech because I think he has spiced up the Georgia Tech rivalry in a way that Georgia fans are now starting to get a little bit more interested in that game. And I love that. I love that. So
that game getting good is good for college football.
Absolutely. Thanks for the question, Sam. All right, let's move on to the next game. USC versus Iowa. 3:30 game. USC's favored 6.5. You're going to hear that line quite often, I think, in the next couple of previews. Austin, this is a massive game for USC. I wrote down Iowa is really good at running the ball. USC's not very good at stopping it. USC's elite in every metric on offense. You can go look up every metric. I didn't even write them down because they're all just so good. Is pass, run, etc., etc., etc. Every metric that you look up for USC, their offense is elite. Sam in the comments, best commentary I've heard on this question from any live I have joined. Thanks. We appreciate that, Sam. Go hit the subscribe button on YouTube at CFP_SCN. I was not really good at stopping the pass. They're really good at stopping the pass, but not great at stopping the run, as Oregon showed that last week. This game's the hardest one for me to pick this week.
Can Iowa do what we talked about Iowa does and muck this game up? It's funny, but I think because of that game last week, I actually went and checked the weather in Los Angeles.
I seen it too.
It's 100% chance of rain for the next 3 days. And I do think it's going to stop by game time.
Yeah.
But, if it rains like that for 3 straight days, the field's going to be, not in perfect condition. I don't know, man. I feel like Iowa comes in and takes this one.
If Iowa can run the ball effectively against a pretty bad USC run D, which keeps them from passing the ball that much because they absolutely suck at that, I do think they have a chance. The only thing that worries me, what scares me for Iowa, is I don't think they're going to completely shut down this USC offense. I think this USC offense is too good to just shut down for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
With the lack of the pass game in Iowa, for me, that's what scares me, is because, can you run the ball for 4 quarters effectively? Keep the chains moving, get those 4 to 5 yard chunks, keep USC's offense on the sideline. I will say, as good as USC's offense is, they are prone to turnovers. They've turned the ball over quite a bit. So they are prone to that. If Iowa can get some turnovers, it really goes back to what you said. They're going to have to hour it up. They're going to have to muck it up. They're going to have to play an hour game. What really scares me also is Lincoln Riley, for all the crap he gets from us two, He's done pretty good at home. He's done pretty good at home this year in particular. If this was a away game, I would take Iowa all day. I would take, especially how they played against Oregon. I thought they did really good last week, other than the lack of the pass game. But I don't know, man. I think they're going to have some success against USC's offense. I just think at some point the dam will break and USC would get them on offense. I just think the offense is too good. So I'm going to go USC in this one. But I'll tell you what, I think Iowa covers.
I'm going to keep it fun and stick with Iowa.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, you know what? There's no money on the line. Let's make it fun for commentary.
That's right. That's right. ND fan, Pitt Notre Dame prediction. Hate that you just joined because we just talked about that game. But just to recap, I went with Notre Dame. Austin went with Notre Dame. We both think Notre Dame's gonna cover. We don't think it's gonna be close at all. We think Notre Dame's a great team. We are not the Notre Dame haters most on Twitterverse is right now. And we both kind of think Pitt's a little overrated. Corey, BYU or TCU? We'll get to that at the back end of the show. It's going to be the last game we preview. All right, let's go to Bama, Oklahoma. Our producer is literally asleep. So I will put that up. I just looked over and she is knocked out.
That's hilarious.
Our producer has fell asleep, and I don't want to be unprofessional and wake her up. So
speaking of sleeping, I hope to be asleep by halftime of this game because it's a blowout. I hope to get my afternoon nap in the second half of this game.
Well, Austin, as we do when it's our teams, I'm going to let you have the floor first, man. So give us your Bama Oklahoma takeaways.
You know, I knew you were going to do that tonight, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but I am looking for the same thing I was looking for last week against LSU that we did not get, and I would need the offense to get some rhythm. The offense just seems, I mean, it's doing enough, but it's just been slow and stagnant. So, you know, I hope the defensive line continues to play like they did last week and can get to Mateer. And I don't know. I'm not an X and O's guy. I feel like they should come out and run some no huddle and just try to speed the offense up a little bit. But I also think Bama's had this game circled because of the embarrassment last year and
playoffs for him.
Yeah, it did. Not to mention, I mean, it was a beatdown. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was like 24-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I do think Bama takes care of business.
I mentioned this. I went back and looked. I didn't write it down, but you know, you had made an interesting comment on our Sunday show about Bama's pass game these last 2 weeks have kind of like, you know, went down a little bit. You know, that's been the strength of this offense is the pass game. Ty Simpson, the receivers, because as we know, the run game is pretty much non-existent. No reason to even talk about it because they weren't able to run the ball against most teams. They're not going to run it on Oklahoma. So can the pass game get back to what it was I think it was South Carolina, LSU the last 2 games. It's just been kind of mediocre. It hasn't been It hasn't been bad, but it just hasn't been great. And if it don't get back on track, I'm a little worried for Alabama.
Go ahead and say what you need to say then.
Oh, no, you're going to actually be surprised. I went into this game Sunday picking a different team than I did coming into the show. I did a complete 180 today while driving all day than what I thought I was going to go in. Give me Bama and give me the points in a blowout, baby. Roll Tide.
That's what I'm talking about. What's got you leaning that way?
I think the pass game is going to get back on track. And I think if you look at Oklahoma's phenomenal defense, but I think there is a weakness, and I think it's that secondary. Ole Miss, 300-plus yards. Tennessee, 300-plus yards.
Yeah.
I think Ty Simpson's better than both those quarterbacks. I would say he's better by a lot on Tennessee's quarterback, and he's a step above the Ole Miss quarterback. And I think this is going to be a perfect get-right game. I think Bama's O-line is really good at keeping Ty Simpson safe. And I just think the pass game is going to get back on track. And I think Bama's going to beat him. I think they're going to cover. I think it's going to be by 10, 12 points, if not more.
I hope you're right.
You wasn't expecting that one.
I was not expecting that one. I was
I
was ready to fight tonight.
Yeah, no, I will admit, I went into this Bama Oklahoma. My mind was made up Sunday. I was going to pick Oklahoma. I was going to pick Oklahoma to win in a very close one. And then today my mind changed. My mind changed. I got to thinking about it a lot today while driving. So yeah, I think Bama's going to beat it, and I think they're going to cover. Now, Georgia, 6.5 versus Texas. Let me pull up. I did not do a good job. Actually, no, I don't have to pull up. I don't have to pull this up. I actually wrote it down. So Brent Rollins over there at UGA Sports, I thought, put up an interesting tweet. You know, we both have said that Arch Manning has looked a lot better these last couple of weeks. Now, granted, the defenses he has faced haven't been great, but, I mean, he wasn't looking good when he faced bad defenses earlier in the year. And I think the reason why, well, I think we talked about it Sunday. We may have, or we did Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whenever. Sark has kind of went back to that quick game offense. I think earlier in the year, what Sark wanted to do is what he thought he could do with Arch was the deep ball, the deep downfield passing. That's what was missing on last year's team, and Arch just hasn't been comfortable. And I don't know that it's Arch can't do it. I think just the offensive line can't block long enough to do it. So Sark, for some reason, kept doing it. And finally, for the last 4 weeks, he has shown the ability to adapt and change midseason and doing a lot more of what they did last year and just kind of dinking and dunking it, and which is smart because the offensive line can't block worth of crap. But Arch's average depth of target, the first 5 games, were 11.9 yards. His last 4 games, 7.6 yards. He is not throwing it very far now. The average depth of target for most teams around 8 to 10, 9 to 10, somewhere around there. Yeah. So you see that number drop. They're going back to being, side to side, short passes, immediate pass. Not going to throw it deep. They're going to try to get it out quick. There's a lot of things bad about UGA's defense, but one thing I found really interesting, I want to credit the guys at 3 Tech Pod. They mentioned this when I was listening to them. I didn't know this, so I went and looked it up on the same site that they use, that I use. UGA ranks 12th in missed tackle rate. They are a good tackling team. That makes me feel really good about Georgia. Because if you're going to dink and dunk it, you got to be able to tackle. You got to be able to tackle in space. And Georgia, they lack a pass rush. The secondary is not great, but they can tackle. And I don't know that Texas has a deep ball right now. I don't know that there's anybody on the outside that scares me going against Georgia. And I'm going Georgia. I'm not going to do the Bama thing. I do think Texas covers because I don't think Georgia's a team right now that can do that like they did last year. I think the weakness I think on the offensive side of things for Georgia too, the one thing I'm looking at too on that side is, they're not very explosive, but the one thing that Texas's defense struggles with is the short game. They're allowing 5-point yards per attempt. That's ranked 74th on short throws. And that's what Georgia kind of excels at. I don't know, man. I look at all the matchups in this game, and I just keep checking Georgia as I'm going through it. So, yeah, I'm going to go Georgia. I don't think they cover, but I think Georgia's going to win.
Yeah, this was a game I kind of went back and forth on too, and I keep trying to just say, like, It's Kirby Smart. But then I have watched more Georgia football this year than I have in a long time. Mainly because of the new TV schedule, and they don't play at the same time as Bama very often. This Georgia team is just gettable. I think Texas is peaking at the right time. I think Sarkisian is oh, you got an itch on your nose there?
Yeah, I was just itching.
I think Sarkisian is the second best offensive mind in the country, behind Lane Kiffin. But there's no way they come in to Athens on a Saturday night in November. Dude, that crowd is going to be insane. There is no way Arch Manning is ready to play against that Georgia defense all night. It's impossible, right?
What the heck is that? Do you have?
But I don't know. I think that Arch Manning and Sarkisian put something together. I think the defense can keep Georgia out of the end zone. Upset pick of the week. Texas goes into Athens with a huge win.
Where in the heck? Oh, I know where you got that shirt from. I know where you got that shirt from. It's all clicking for me now. It's all clicking for me. Wow. Going Texas. Okay. I see. 20 years of friendships is apparently just don't mean nothing nowadays. Just doesn't mean anything.
It took you 20 years to see the Texas shirt.
It did. I was sitting there like, and then when the jacket was off, that is getting clipped. And Caitlin's just in the live, just knowing this whole time.
Yeah, she was, because she had to help me find this shirt.
Oh man, dang. I love it though. Love it. Love it. I should change my Bama pick though, but I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. Even though I'm not gonna betray you like you just betrayed me.
You betrayed me many a times over the
I have.
last 20 years.
I have. All right. We got a couple of disagreements this week.
I told you. We got to make it fun.
Yeah, we got to make it fun. All right. Last game of the week that we'll talk about, BYU, TCU. I think, can't remember what the spread was. I think BYU was favored like 3.5, something like that, or 4.5.
I meant to tell you that USC line, since we started the show, moved to 7.5.
USC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, you're right. BYU 3.5.
I'm getting a little worried about that USC game. Well, I don't know why I picked USC, so it doesn't matter. BYU should. So look, I made my thoughts known on BYU. Look, BYU fans already hate me, so I can say it. I think they're fraudulent. I don't think they're as good as the record indicates. I think they've gotten away from it a lot. But I'm going to say all that to say I think BYU should be able to move the ball against this TCU defense. TCU's defense is like 96th in quality drive rate. BYU, even after the Texas Tech game, they're like 29th in that same statistic. That's one matchup I hate. I also hate what I hate about this matchup for TCU is their inability to stay ahead of the chains. Hoover is pretty good in 3rd and long, but I don't know if that's sustainable against this BYU defense. Like I said, I've called out BYU multiple times on this show. I think they've gotten away with it a lot. I don't think they're as good as the record indicates, but I just can't find anything in this game to give me confidence in TCU unless TCU just has a Josh Hoover SMU game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go BYU.
Yeah, the only thing that I had was, how's BYU going to feel, after last week? Are they going to have kind of a, a lot of times you have that hangover game after a big win, but, You can also have a hangover week after getting beat down. But I think they have the right coach to not let that happen. I think he'll prepare them, get their mindsets right for this game. And I'm with you. I'm going BYU in this one.
All right, let's get to some chat things real quick before we go to upset picks. Never play AJ Heisman predictions. I'm glad you asked that because I thought of something today. I think right now Mendoza is the number one right now. I think we talked about that Sunday. We think that he had his like what we call the Heisman moment. A lot of times in the Heisman race, I think it comes down to sometimes it comes down to just those moments. And you can say what you want about Penn State and the Indiana game. I get it. I don't even care to hear it. What it's about is the moments. And when I was on Twitter last Saturday, the national media, which a lot of them vote for the Heisman, were going absolutely bananas about Mendoza and the last drive he had against Indiana, the throw he made to that receiver, and that was just a Heisman moment. So I do think Mendoza is leading. I think Ty Simpson has a chance this weekend to have his moment because we do live in the moment. So if Ty Simpson, does his thing this weekend in a great fashion, I think we could see either a neck and neck thing or Ty Simpson maybe overtaken. I have, though, one sneaky guy that could enter the race that don't get talked about right now, very little, that could have a Heisman moment. I'm not predicting it, but it's possible. Gunnar Stockton. I think if he does his thing against Texas, against that defense, I'm not saying he will. I do think Georgia's going to win. I don't know that they're going to win because Gunnar has some amazing stat line. But if he has an amazing stat line and he looks good, you could start seeing some Gunnar love. What's your take on the Heisman, Austin?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Mendoza has it. I mean, it's his to lose right now, I feel like.
Yeah.
I still think if he could find a moment, I still think Haynes King has a chance to get in there.
If he plays like he did,
I think he'd have to have his moment in the Georgia game, I think. Which I don't know. They have Pitt next week, I think.
Yeah, Pitt. That could be a good one, depending on
what happens this weekend. Yeah, I mean, I think he's got to find a moment, but I think he's had the season and has the numbers to put him in there.
Yeah, Haynes King could have a moment. Jeremiah Love could have a moment this weekend, but I don't know. I haven't heard his name as much. Jeremiah Smith, maybe the Michigan game coming up, could have a moment. Maybe that carries into the Big Ten championship game. I don't know. He's not. Yeah, I mean, he's had a great year. He's the best wide receiver in college football, probably. But yeah.
What week is this? Is this week 11? Week 10? 11?
I think it's week 12.
Week 12?
Yeah, week 12.
Dude, it drives me crazy how I thought, and I'm not going to go on a rant, but I thought the Big Ten had fixed, their scheduling issues we've always fussed about when they added all these other teams. But the number one team in the country right now, we haven't previewed a game, or they haven't played a game even big enough for us to talk about since week 1.
Nope, have not talked one bit.
Like, I don't know how good they are. I know how good that defense is, because they're doing what they should do. But I don't know.
I've had this take. Yeah,
thing.
I've had this discussion on TikTok because we get asked about Ohio State on TikTok quite often, and one of the things I said the same thing. I was like, I don't know, because I don't know. All I have so far, all they played is Texas, and
they played Texas when they were terrible. It looked like terrible.
Yeah, and so like I don't know what to say now. I can use my eyes. I think they're the best team in the college. Look, we do a poll. I voted Ohio State number 1, except for a 2-week period. I put Indiana number 1, which I dropped them this week, so I got Ohio State back to number 1. So for the majority of the season, I've had Ohio State number one, and that's strictly because when I have watched them and when I look up things about, Ohio State, it's, they look good. They look really good. Now, I do think they have some weaknesses that ain't been exposed yet. I think the offensive line has some weaknesses that hasn't been exposed yet, and I do think the run game's not as good either, and it hasn't been exposed yet. So, yeah, I just think Ohio State's gonna be one of those things we just don't find out until they play Indiana and Indianapolis, and they play in the playoffs. But yeah, go Purdue. All right,
I hate basketball.
Let's do our upset picks. Did you forget yours, or do I need to go first? Because I wrote down two. Oh, that's it. Texas versus Georgia. That's right. You said that, didn't you? You said that. All right. I am. All right, I'm going to go with one. And I don't even think this would be an upset, to be quite frank, with how bad they've been playing. Although, I don't know. The betting line indicates it will be. I'm going Virginia Tech over FSU. FSU's favorite 13.5. So, that is my upset pick.
I like it.
Well, I don't know why you would like it. If you're somebody that bets, I would advise you to go bet the money line FSU right now. Because I am one on picks. All right, for around the scoreboard, we got another question. Zach on TikTok, thoughts on Oregon? Listen, I've had a love affair for Oregon for 2 years. I picked them last year to win the national championship, and I picked them the year before to win the national championship. And then they beat Penn State this year before we kind of knew how bad Penn State was. And I said on the show, I thought Oregon could win another. I thought Oregon could do it this year. I even went as far as to say I thought this year's Oregon team was better than last year's. I don't think that now. I don't know. I think Oregon's a good football team. I don't know if they're going to win the national championship. I think they're all lacking in some areas. I think as good as Dante Moore is, or as good as we thought he was, he's struggled here in the last couple of weeks. I think he's going to be a phenomenal quarterback in the future. I think he's still young. Other than that 1 year at UCLA, he just hasn't, and this year he hasn't had much playing experience. I think they're very physical. They're kind of similar to UGA. They're hard to kill. Iowa almost had them. Penn State almost had them. I don't know. I think they're a good team. I think they're another 10-win team. Now, they do have a couple of weeks here coming up with USC and Washington. That's going to be real interesting. And that USC-Oregon game, I'm kind of hoping USC does win against Iowa because that USC-Oregon game is going to be pretty freaking legit. Yeah. Austin, what's your thoughts on Oregon?
No, I love Dan Lanning. As much as I think my wife would leave me tonight for him, so I should hate him. But
he's amazing.
I think he hasn't earned the right like a Kirby Smart or Nick Saban had, where you're just like, oh, they're gonna be good just because he's the coach. But I do think as long as he's the coach, they're gonna be in it, and they're gonna give it their all to make a run. And I think they have as good a shot as anybody.
Yeah, Caitlin in the comments, Dan with some emojis indicating Dan's her favorite. Zach said, I think 2026 is the Ducks' year. Actually, I am. I agree with that. I've actually said that on our pre-show or preseason. I think we talked about it. I think 2026. I've already got my national champion picked out.
I think the only reason I say that I haven't counted them out this year is who is unbeatable.
Nobody.
Right.
I mean,
that's the problem, and so what scares me is a team like Georgia, like Oregon, that is hard to kill, making it into such a wide open, playoff. I think they have just as good a shot as anybody to make a run. I mean, it looks like Indiana's unbeatable, but I don't. I mean, Penn State slowed them down last week, so when that happened, it took them out, and I mean, we still don't know about Ohio State, but yeah, that's the only reason I say I'm with you. I think next year is their year, but I also say they have a fair shot this year just because nobody is dominant.
Yeah, I agree. I think this year's going to be so wide open. We got a couple of comments. Ohio State three-peat. I tell you what, if Ohio State three-peats, which that would be Jesus. Apparently you can hear my wife snoring on here.
I can't hear it.
Austin, talk about hold on, I had another question and I lost it. Yeah.
Ohio State three-peating this season would be the SEC's worst nightmare. That's all I can say. Over the last 25 years, the SEC still holds bragging rights, but Big Ten's trying to sneak in there. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Your wife in the comments. Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Tucker in the comments, Indiana is overrated. He says Notre Dame wins it within the next 2 years, and Indiana is overrated.
I don't know if those are hot takes.
Indiana's good. I mean, I don't think they're great. I don't think they're like, a Death Star.
You ranked them number 1 in the country for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I think. Okay, no.
Is that hold on? Really is that because they deserve to be there because of their record, or is that where you really think they are?
I thought for the last 2 weeks, yes. I thought the Oregon win was really good, and I thought going and beating Iowa in that tough environment was good. I also think I don't know. I just thought I think they've looked really good. I don't know why we can't accept. And I don't know. The Indiana dialogue is, to me, getting really annoying. It's going to be just like last. And listen, I criticized Kurt Cinetti last year. I have a love-hate thing with Kurt because he does a lot of yapping, which I love. But when you do all that yapping and then you go play Notre Dame and coach as conservative as you did, he coached almost like it was like, please don't beat us bad. Please don't beat us bad. Let's just keep it close. That's how he coached against Notre Dame. And that left a sour taste in my mouth because he yaps a lot. And then you go and you play Notre Dame and you coach like a wuss. So I'm not a big Indiana defender. I don't know. I mean,
Indiana plays Georgia this weekend. Who are you picking?
I mean, I want to pick Georgia, but it's not like
Indiana plays Alabama this weekend. Who are you picking?
I mean, I'm going to pick Alabama.
Indiana plays Notre Dame this weekend. Who are you picking?
I'll take Indiana.
Okay.
But the Alabama Georgia ones, I don't think it would. I think it would be a coin flip.
Yeah, I'm just asking. I'm just saying where your head's at.
That may be my SEC homerism kicking in. But I don't think it would be. Tucker in the comments says Georgia by 21. I don't know. Georgia couldn't beat freaking Florida by 21. And that's a 3-6 team. They're not beating Indiana by 21. Look, I love my dogs, but this isn't 2022 again. This isn't 2021. Yeah. This Georgia team's not beating nobody by 21 unless it's an FCS team.
Listen, I think it would be a great thing for football for Indiana to be the best team in the country and go win a national championship.
I do too.
As much as obviously, like you said, the homerism kicks in, and I want Bama to win it just like you want Georgia to win it. But it would be a great thing for football for a coach to be making $10 million at Indiana and win a national championship. I just think it opens the doors to so many different different schools that we might not have ever thought about.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, I think Indiana has opened doors for schools to do what they're doing right now, even without winning a national championship. I've made that case 1,000 times on this show.
Yep.
I get mocked, not by, I wouldn't say mocked, but I get laughed at on Twitter and all that when I call certain schools sleeping giants.
But here's the problem. If you have a team like Indiana that goes through a decent Big Ten schedule, got lucky a little this year. I mean, I know they struggled with Penn State, but Penn State being down, not playing Ohio State, things like that. But a decent Big Ten schedule, and then they make the playoffs every year, and then you get thumped in the first round. That eventually that narrative will catch up to you at some point. They're gonna at least have to be competitive in the playoffs.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Kurt's gonna have to be more aggressive in this playoff game than he was last year. If I see him coach scared like he did last year, he'll be public. I'll start to sway my opinion on that dude because he talks way too much shit to be that conservative in the playoffs. You know what, man? We're gonna skip around the scoreboard because we actually have a lot of good engagement or interaction on TikTok. So we kind of show on the Q&A. I don't think there's anything on around the scoreboard other than the Lane Kiffin Bowl. How many points you think Lane's going to absolutely murder Florida?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's going to get ugly.
Yeah,
it's going to get ugly. Let me tell you right now.
He's going to run that one up.
He's going to run that one up. And I said this on last night's show, the SEC show we do. I think Florida is on quit watch. Or no, they're quitting. They've quit. They're not on watch. They have officially quit.
Yeah.
The injury report is rather extensive, and I wonder how many of those injuries are real injuries. So yeah. I do want to give a shout out to our guy Josh Pate over on the show, the Josh Pate College Football Show. If you listen to Josh Pate, you've heard the name Chalice of Supremacy on his show. If you haven't heard it, go sub to Josh Pate's channel. He's amazing. He don't need my help. He's got a crap load of subs on ESPN, and he's on Bussing with the Boys, and he's on Colin Cowherd now, and he's on that on 3. So the man does not need any help from me. But if you enjoy college football, though, you do need to. If you don't know who Josh Pate is, go check him out. He's amazing. But anyway, he emailed me a Pate State Chalice of Supremacy. I don't know if you can see that on there, but yeah. So got us a Chalice of Supremacy from our friend Josh Pate. Josh Pate is awesome. He is like us. He's an average, or not average. He is a average Joe that worked a regular 9 to 5 and started the YouTube channel just like we're doing right now. And he worked his way up, and it's awesome to see his success. And I hope to one day enjoy that too. Josh Pate's amazing. So, all right, we'll end it on that. We appreciate everybody. Please, we had a good turnout. Y'all, please go hit the this is for TikTok. This is for Twitter. If you're already on YouTube and you're not subscribed, go hit the subscribe button on YouTube at CFB_SZN. We have many shows on. This isn't the only show. We have We Talk Ball, which is this show that comes on Thursdays and Sundays. We have an SEC show, Sweet Tea in the SEC. It comes out on Tuesday. We have the Coach's Corner with a former coach that was in college football. It comes on at 9 o'clock on Tuesdays, and with going to be having more editions in the future, probably next season, hopefully. So yeah, I think we go live 4 times a week. There's 7 days in a week, so that's a lot of content. And yeah, so come check us out at CFB_SZN. Appreciate everybody that followed. We will holler at y'all Sunday. Time change Sunday, 8:30 Eastern. We usually go live at 6:30. But Sunday night, we've got some scheduling conflicts. So we're going to go live at 8:30 Eastern on Sunday night. So y'all come join me in Austin then. Peace.
See ya.